Right, it's time for the second quarterfinal of the Hidden Cup Norway. And we have Baldr versus Vale for this one. Baldr has gone for high tides and slopes as home maps, so high tides, hybrid map involving some water play, Lithuanians would be a good one there. Slopes, I guess. I'm not sure what would work here for slopes. Khmer for a super fast app and some scouts, some mobility or fast archers, and Spanish for the conquistadors. Maybe it's a last pick though, so Khmer is a late pick for slopes, but it's still yeah, probably decent. You could garrison in houses if you go for the exposed resources to the side. Most pros these days would disagree, Hoya. I usually don't get it until Castle Age these days. Vale, on the other hand, has gone for Bypass and Quarry as the maps. They're both kind of closed maps. So we have some Malay and Britain's standout Sids for that one. Italians very early pick. That's kind of a Papaya Pit style pick. Also the Mayans, but they have been banned. They would be very good for slopes. Anyway, let's find the first one. First map is always Arabia. So that's the one we're going to go for now. Baldr going for Teutons again, like he did in the round of 16 versus Fenrir. Seems to enjoy Teutons for Arabia. And Vale with the Vikings, so could open for with infantry here. That would still work against Teutons because their extra melee armor doesn't kick in until the Castle Age. So the extra hit points of the Vikings would be a good or a decent opening here. Men at arms into archers, for example, from the Vikings, to buy you some time for the instant wheelbarrow in feudal age to kick in and give you an economic advantage. It's the equivalent of 3 builders working time to research that. Teutons could also open infantry, but could just as well open scouts because they have cheaper farms, and that sets you up nicely for a Castle Age cavalry knights rush, maybe reinforced by some siege, because since you save wood for the farms. Anyway, as Teutons, 40% cheaper farms, it's also going to be easier to play your Castle Age knights, but then also add siege, because you've been saving wood the whole time. Back woodland for Vale here, back stone as well, not too relevant at this stage. Missing a couple of pigs over here. Gold forward, not ideal. Berries also forward. So it should be relatively easy for Baldr to deny Vale's resources here, especially the food, if Vale should try to go for the Men-at-Arms opening here, which is admittedly slower than, say, an 18-pot Knights. Hello, Otter! Pushing in the hunt, at least one of them. Probably needs to push in 2 to comfortably go for a 21 pop Men-at-Arms here. The Vikings was also the last pick for Vale, so it's a bit interesting that Mayans, the first pick, got banned and then it's going for the Vikings the last pick instead as the opening civilization. Maybe not an Arabia fan, this player. And why Baldr is scouting the back corner of his own map, that is a mystery to me. Maybe still looking for some pigs, sheep or something, but... Speaking of pigs, these are definitely lameable. Heavy food investment here as well. 2 more villagers and fuel range, then is almost certainly a men-at-arms opening. Baldr, a little bit idle tons of time at home here, but seems very invested in the food situation. 5 on berries, that's a bit strange, even for, yeah, especially for Teutons with the cheaper farms. But yeah, 5 on berries, rest on pigs underneath the town center. Did not push a single huntable, maybe will be doing that now, yeah. But loom is clicked, and we're just going to force drop a little bit of food here and go for the fuel age at a 20 pop, which should actually give the Vikings infantry opening, if they go for it, a decent window of opportunity for damage with the Tars. But there's not even a barracks yet, so... Oh, okay, there it is. Only 1 villager building it, so I guess it's the straight archers and some spearmen defense here for Vale. Keeps pushing the deer, doesn't worry about scouting the opposing side, so very greedy here by the Teutons. But it's not like there's going to be a rush or anything coming, so not having scouted the opponent side isn't that big of a deal at this point. Unless Vale had been a BL and full walled the base completely at this point, because then you would be able to see what they were doing, right? But that's not the case. Vale playing it quite open. Let's have a look at who these players could be. Papaya Pit has been suggested a couple of times. Picks meta sims for any map. Is Vikings a meta sim for Arabia these days? So it isn't played as much yet. And he wrote in Norwegian that he loves economic upgrades and town centers a little bit too much, and that's an instant double tax there, as should be with this kind of up. So Vale could be Papaya Pit. Then we have some players favoring infantry style plays. We have barracks and stables here though, but Vevi likes infantry, likes to boom but has to work on idle towns at a time. In hindsight, I should have had the players' elos in the cards as well, but I forgotten that. And Papaya could be either one here. No, Papaya is not Baldr. I don't think Papaya is Baldr. Since we saw Arsak in the chat, let's do his card as well. Nice quick wall there from Vale to disallow the scout from engaging. How many scouts out now? 4 scouts total for Teutons, but they're not able to do too much as the walls are about to complete, and the spearmen, Viking spearmen with their extra hit points, they are strategically placed near the walling villagers so that the scouts won't be able to enter while walling. Archery range now for Baldr, realizing that skirmishers will be needed against Vale's aggression, going for archers to begin with here. one Builder down for Baldr actually, but at least, maybe he makes it. Oh, epic save. Builder lives at 4 HP and casually walks in. Oh, discovers a hole between the houses there. And takes his time to wall it down, yeah. Should probably move back close to TC to place a farm here or do something at a safe space. 5 scouts, no more scouts currently in the queue for Baldr. Baldr needs to aim for the next stage here, I think, because it's already set up that farming go nicely because of the scouts play. More farms than the Vikings player. And since the scouts won't be able to do much else than be annoying, pounding away against the walls like this, then yeah, Baldr should be heading for the castle age and try to get some knights or siege out to deal with Vale's ranged aggression instead. Fletching coming in for archers, group of 6 archers and a couple of spears moving out now. However, we have some skirmishes from the Teutons here as well. We'll need fletching to keep up though, to match the... well, almost match the range, or yeah, match the range of the archers. And defend this. If you can use these skirmishes to focus down the spearmen, then the scouts should be able to deal with the archers here. So you 100% need to focus the spearmen in this case, and then send the scouts in to try and get the surround on the archers and clean up this raid. All army back home now for Baldr should be able to clean this up. Isn't over investing into army either. So I like what I'm seeing. Economy maybe a little bit stressed out here. So we haven't had a look at Sneaky's card for a while yet. Always forget some important upgrades that could be hinting towards army or economy, depending. But fletching is in and economic upgrades are in, so sure. Scouts are better than archers. Sneaky. We have scouts here. And because Snippy is in, I added Regicide as an option in any round to claim Regicide to be played. Sadly, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen any Regicide on these Hidden Cup maps, but it was an option. Thought that would spice things up a bit. And this card again. Hates Britons, and we have Britons in the draft, so I don't think Vale is Andy, since Vale drafted Britons as a civ as well. How would you pick Regicide? In any set during one, or before a home map or before a map gets played, you could claim Regicide. And it works on almost all of the Hidden Cup maps, so. Every set, not every time, but once for every best of 3, best of 5, or best of 7. For each player. So in theory you could have 2 Regicides in a best of 3. It gives a castle more builds on most maps, but on one map, or some maps, I think it's a tower. So it's varying a little bit. Regicide mode, just with the Hidden Cup maps. That's the difference. But that hasn't happened yet. It's just another way to change upsets and to give Snippy some opportunity to shine. That's a lot of skirmishers from Baldr. Lots of Teuton skirmishers that don't scale well into Imperial Age. Regicide meta, huh? Nice. Cav archers and petards tend to work. At least if you're Snippy. crossbows in for Vale. I completely forgot to realize that he's actually entered the castle age, as is the case for Baldr, but I think he won't be able to research Elite Skirmisher in time for the upgrade to kick in before Vale can use the crossbow mass to focus them down. Both build orders and huge matchups. Maybe. Okay, crossbows focus down here. No elite skirmisher, as most of the skirmishers went down, but they've done good work at focusing on the aggression here as well. Where is Rody? Is one of the players I wanted to show. It's Rody. Casey likes close maps, likes hand cannoneers, lots of TCs and booming. Teutons and Vikings both definitely booming civilizations. Crossbows managing to get 4 kills, but no Wilders, surprisingly enough. Not this time around anyway, but Vale got some kills earlier. Another wave of crossbows ready to engage here. Still no... Elite Skirmisher is in, so never mind. Teutons, Elite Skirmishers out on the field, not heaps of them. Economy looks a little bit low as well, but with the second town center going up, maybe that changes things a bit for Baldr. Once again walling that weak spot where the crossbows broke in the last time. Why not the stone wall this time? Make it a little bit harder for them to enter at the same place again. Not nearly enough elite skirmishers here to take on this crossbow mass. Arguably a misplay. We have a switch into knights for Baldr, but only 14 on food, 9 on gold. Hardly enough to keep more than one stable working, and barely any upgrades to. At that very minimum you need +2 defense and bloodlines to engage crossbows. At least when they've reached this mass. So Vale's army has scaled well. Is about to add a 3rd town center as well. Always adds TCs and eco upgrades for Papayvit. No heavy plow just yet, but technically speaking you may not need that early on when playing the crossbows. Because your wood will be going into military anyway. And it is Vale with the aggression and the momentum. Still, it's 66 to 51. Villagers managed to get 6 kills earlier on. Baldr only 2 town centers here, so not really going to be able to catch up with the villagers. Not anytime soon. We'll need at least a 3rd town center and preferably some counter-aggression. And Teutons lacking husbandry aren't the fastest of cavalry civilizations either, so it kind of complicates things. Mangonel defense though, and speaking of 3rd TC, goes up. That's a farming TC. Booming TC. Not even bordering any resources, but that has to do with the hills as well. Not so easy to place them on these hills. Or not possible. Another range added for Vale. Imperial Age now on the way as well. around 80 villagers, so that's a respectable timing. Baldr managed to snipe down a monk here close to the relic, so some value found there. But with the Imperial Age, we'll have Bracer and Chemistry for Vale's units, and that's going to be tough for a Castle Age students to hold off. One of Teuton's struggles really is these ranged units, since they don't have the mobility to run away from fights as easily. And even though they have great siege, it takes a lot of resources and time to get into the ironclad siege and on-gear siege, on-gear for the Teutons. 44 to 17 military, so convincing military lead here for Vale, losing some reinforcements, but not such a big deal, only 2 elite skirmishers left. Knights numbers increasing, but the +1 attack prioritized ahead of the defense, which seems like a questionable decision. Only 9 on gold as well, so you're not going to be able to keep more than 1.5 stables consistently producing here. Good forward castle from Vale as well, denying one of the 2 very forward golds of Baldr. Yeah, with Imperial Age kicking in, it's not looking pretty for Baldr. I agree on that. Committing 11 villagers for the forward castle. Beautiful pathing there, just kind of changed their minds. Bracer Arbalest coming in, and not nearly enough knights to engage no matter what here. Whoa! Oh! Oh! Baldr can snipe the foundation. Almost. Snipe the castle foundation. Yeah, but that's castle complete. We are in the Imperial Age, so we have access to trebuchets as well. That is 43 nearly fully upgraded arbalests. We don't have chemistry yet. We don't have the remaining defense upgrades, but that's not something you need to stress. I guess these villagers will just take the forward goal. There we go. Could add some berserkers here for style points perhaps as well. Oh, good Mangonel shot from Baldr there. Risky move from Vale to move in, but there's consistent arbalest production behind this. Chemistry just 1 minute away, and the knights, they are just looping around, don't even know what to do here. They could snipe some reinforcements, they could go in for some raids, but Vale is on top of things. He's house walling at home and trying to keep the cavalry counter raids away as well. But yeah, trebuchets being added. Not even any option as for a defensive castle here for Baldr at this point, because the trebuchets are out and Baldr is miles away from the Imperial Age anyway. Second trebuchet on the way. Knights doing some work at sniping reinforcements, to be fair. Might even get in for some raids here, unless Vale manages to quick wall this. But the real issue for Baldr is at home base. One town center down, another one about to go down, which means that the Arbalists can freely just enter the base and snipe villagers at will. Ballistics in, chemistry is in, all of the upgrades are in, except for the defense, which you don't need at this point. Knights are in to raid, but there are some Arbalists to defend at home as well, and they are Imperial Age units. They have better range, they have better attack output than Castle Age crossbows, so they'll slay the Teuton's Knights, because the Teuton's Knights also don't have any particular extra pierce armor, they just have better melee armor. Bogsveigar in for Vale, it's about to go in, yeah. So that also boosts the ranged unit stats, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Yep. Extra attack for the Arbalists. Panic defensive castle in the back for Baldr here, relocating further to the south of the map, but this game is pretty much over. Still has villagers, but no ability to deal with this Imperial Age push, and nowhere near an Imperial Age take. Vale takes a convincing first game here. We'll be going to... no, not the draft, sorry, the maps was what I was going to show. We'll be going to Bypass or Quarry next. So we're going to some closed maps yet again. I don't know how to fix that chat box. Just write shorter, okay? So that's the first one. Already forgotten the civs. That's Vikings winning against Teutons. Baldr's first pick versus Vale's last pick. Close map coming next. Could be any of these. We don't quite know the map yet. Let's just see what game 2 is. Yeah, no, I know that. I just haven't bothered changing it. Wait a minute. Did I completely... Yeah, it's slopes and bay for Baldr, not the closed maps. That's Vale's maps. We're going to slopes, a more open map for this one. And we have Khmer versus Byzantines. And why did Papaya Pete so convincingly say that Khmer would be played for slopes, huh? That's kinda sus. And slopes is a pretty open map. There's some incentive to go to the side to get the 4 ibex and shorefish on the sides, but that means leaving the safety of your base for some very openly exposed resources that could be hit by a drush or men at arms or scouts. It's risky. Late game, of course, you expand to the sides for the additional resources as well, for the woodlines, more consistent wood access, but the early game you should still be fine by walling to the edge of the map on either side to sandwich your map in. Sandwich or map in. Yeah, anyway. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Fluffy Bunny. Well, Khmer don't need the buildings to go up, so that gives you an advantage in terms of flexible openings. You don't need the barracks to make a range, you don't need the barracks to make it stable. So you have a shortcut and some wood savings towards your opening play there. Could even go for some forward building shenanigans if you want to. Hey, Red Kansky, the first set was amazing. Very trolly, silly, inventive strats. And yeah, having fun so far. Yeah, Khmer with flexibility in the openings, but Vale and the Byzantines with flexibility in the responses, with the all counter units being cheaper. Cheaper camels, which is not a trash unit, but also cheaper pikemen and, well, cheaper spearman line, cheaper skirmishers line, which gives you any response to cavalry play. But as a result, obviously, Byzantines have lack of bloodlines. Oh, really? No, it's not. It's not. I want a rematch, Red Kansky. Mega random 1v1 now. Did you pick Sim, by the way? I always go full random or mega random. I'm not able to not do that. Just feels wrong. Oh, I've seen lots of weirder games. Always random. That's good. Good practice. Good approach to mega random. Okay, can put this guy to work already. Baldr. Yeah, I do that as well, but not for mega random. Mega random, I do mega random. I do full random and random open. So it's always gonna be random. Look at this Walder boy, Vale with the lacking scouting in the back of the base here, but he's about to check it just to confirm. So he'll need to place a house foundation in the back here as well for the walls of the backside of the base to be complete on this side. Oh, that's Baldr scouting actually, but yeah, Vale is asking for trouble here if Baldr is going for the range approach, because he thinks that is closed with the woodline, but it actually isn't. So Baldr could sneak around here and harass at the very least the woodline and the stones here. Okay. Interesting walling. I guess it's the means to not have to scout the back there. Just wall here to be safe instead. Oh, I've all-in scouted you before. Oops. Please look at these walls. There's still at risk of being exposed to archer's fire though in the back here, and maybe on this woodline. Towers as well. One tower here, and in fact any of Vale's woodlines could be towered here. So that could be an issue. It's not like Myr are going to go for the towers, I don't think. Also walling the base at home here. Oh, I missed him trying to trap the scout. I guess that was the reason for the walls. Didn't even think about that. Then it makes more sense. And now Vale obviously knows that it's open in the back. Fuel H in for Baldr. Are we going to see the scouts again? I think we will, because he seems to love scouts, this guy. Have a look at who enjoys cavalry. Snippy likes scouts are better than archers, says Snippy. For all we know, Snippy might like Teutons for Arabia as well. Then we have a player called Straumandes who claims to not have any distinct style. Water maps enjoyer though, and this guy didn't really pick any water maps. Or did he pick Bay? Could be. Going to both sides, that's kind of greedy from the Khmer here, but you could place houses so you at least have a point of refuge against any enemy aggression trying to deny resources. Vale is going to go for the range again. Might be some... yeah, he's on gold, so that's going to be archers then, not skirmishers immediately. There's no need for skirmishers when we're up against scouts, obviously. as the scouts would just run close to the skirmishers and take advantage of the fact that skirmishers have minimum range. It's been a while since we looked at Ken's card as well, so we could see if Ken might still be in the round of 8. He also likes booming and knights. The first set today had lots of knights civilizations actually. He hates micro archers and he speaks relatively bad Norwegian. It's interesting how Baldr is getting away with the resource suicide there. If Baldr had chosen a different approach and maybe not gone for the scouts at all, but rather benefit from the fact that Khmer don't need any buildings to go up, you could take all the resources to the side here and just mine some gold and go for a super fast castle age, which Andy might do. Oops, we lost him. One more time. But that's not what we're going to see here. Scouts yet again pounding away at walls. Familiar sight, this one. I don't like the fact that Vale is allowing and not even scouting the sides here to see if Baldr is taking any of the side resources. At this rate, Baldr could move forward and build these areas as well, if not for the huge walking distance for the villagers, of course, but in theory you could. We have the first sign of aggression from Vale here. Now going to move forward with archers again. He enjoys archers, this one. And might be able to make some damage. No fletching though. Snippets mentioned about his playstyle that he always forgets some important upgrades, and that could be fletching in this case. He's gonna go for the hill. And surprise Baldr from the side. No, it's open here! Why haven't you walled this? Why? Why is that not walled? No, Vale is just going to casually walk in here and take full advantage of the fact that the 4 tiles in the back of Baldr's base never got walled. Panic tower, some panic house walls here as well, but Vale definitely going to get a villager or 3 here now. Sees the lumber camp, so could go for that one as well. There are also spearmen, so the scouts can't engage the archers easily. Yeah, there should be more villagers going down here for sure. Go for that. Go find them. Okay, he's afraid to get trapped maybe in the woodline. This is also Baldr's only woodline, at least at this point. So that's going to be an issue for wood income. Castle Age on the way though. So relatively fast castle age after all, about just past 19 minutes for Baldr here. Could get some knights out and mess up the Byzantines that way, but Byzantines have cheaper spearmen, so they may very well be able to deal with some fast castle Khmer knights with their cheaper spearmen in being in the feudal age as well. Two eco kills for Vale. Slightly higher idle town center time. But having killed 2 villagers still leaves Vale with a villager advantage. Going to potentially get even more better trades here now. No upgrades on these. Bloodlines is in for the scouts. But that isn't enough to keep the spearmen from taking them out. First few knights should clean this up, but in the meantime Vale is looking at more villagers going down, sadly. Yep, gets that one as well. Spearman could take out the first knight, because it doesn't have any attack or defense upgrades. And the villager at the palisade going down as well. Full on panic mode for Baldr at this point. I'm not hating the town center at the Woodline and Gold at this point, but I'm also not loving it, because they're will probably be another wave of army moving forward soon. Spearmen not in front this time around, or are they? Yeah, they're engaging the knights, getting decent trades yet again. Baldr will still need to punch through the walls here to do damage at all to Vale's side. And Vale is just camping it out, enjoying life over here. Brody claims to be a closed map enjoyer, and now he's made his own closed map at the backside of the base here, so that could be Brody. That's a cleanup, and finally the knights are ready to move forward. Lacking attack and defense upgrades. With attack upgrades it's easier to punch through buildings and walls, but I think we're gonna need some siege forward here for Baldr to break through and be able to do proper damage to Vale over here. Camels now for Vale, of course, they are at a discount for the Byzantines. And once again they're forced to react at home base here, but it's going to be increasingly harder with the combination of knights, no, camels and crossbows now, for Khmer knights alone to deal with this. Once again inside of Baldr's base here, going for the back woodland where there were villagers earlier, as he knows. 4 eco kills for Vale, and 2 town centers producing at home base as well, which means that that villager count should be creeping up ahead for Vale soon enough. No wheelbarrow for either of them. Eco upgrades the same for the both of them. Surprisingly close in the eco approach, these two. But military, in the end, is what wins games in most cases, not the most villagers in the best economy. You need military as well, and Vale certainly has the military advantage. 3 times the size of the military, now catching up in villager count as well. It's going to be that even, but a 3rd town center should potentially give Vale a numbers advantage as well in the villager department. Keeps folding in armies. Why I would be so desperate to kill the mill, but probably some plan behind it. Not investing at all into crossbows anymore, it's mainly camels now. They are dirt cheap for the Byzantines. A few more gold now and Vale could spam double stable camels for a long time. Just keeping the aggression up while extending the economy at home. It's 2 stables, isn't it? Yep, 2 stables. While Baldr is going for a market to use that excess gold to maybe boost the military production a bit, maybe make a switch into adding some pikemen here perhaps. There are still some crossbows though, so you need quite a few pikemen to deal with these camels. Maybe it would be more reasonable for Baldr to actually go into crossbows himself here, but that's also risky against the Byzantines because the Byzantines have cheaper skirmishers. So that's an easy switch for Vale with the economy currently to go into skirmishers. It's really tough for the Khmer to react to what the Byzantines are doing here now, because it seems whatever kind of switch you make, Baldr will have a response to it. pikemen, and they make more crossbows or skirmishers. You can't really commit to knights because the camels or the Byzantines are cheaper. And if you make your own crossbows, again, Vale with the Byzantines would make skirmishers. I don't see what Khmer could do here, honestly. Right now, at least. Mass scorpions, maybe. Camels aren't the best raiding unit, though. So if you have some kind of unit to deal with them. Why do you keep trying to break out there? It's still open in the back. Why is the military for Vale still, but now established that economic lead, also now getting wheelbarrows. So the builders will move faster, carry more. It's an important one for farming especially. And as we know, the Byzantines have a cheaper Imperial Age as well. Just missing the second building to go to the Imperial Age here. And Vale could have heavy camels, make a switch into arbalest, or for proper side points go into castles and cataphracts here. Not sure we're going to see that here though, because Vale seems to be playing it kind of safe. There's also one player we haven't really considered for Vale, and that could be our player coming in from Age of Mythology a couple of years ago. Oximulator, or yeah, he's the highest rated player of the signups, and he doesn't even own most of the DLCs, so he doesn't know all the civilizations, and he, generally speaking, plays very meta in terms of civilization picks and approach, and timing's kind of on point here. Pretty low idle TC time as well. This could be Aximinator. Vale and Baldr above Akkal. All of them are Akkal. But if anyone's Akkal here, it's Baldr, because he's making knights and has 10 minutes idle TC time. Lots of camels. 1 minute away, or 2 minutes away from being heavy camels. Also, the Khmer player is going to have to work for a while longer to get to Imperial Age here. It's 34 minutes in and we're not really prepping for the Imperial Age. Khmer farming could save your ass a little bit here, but maybe not enough. What setup is casted from round of 8? Heimdall vs Hell. That was the first one I casted today. That's the Imperial Age for Vale, which means this castle of the Khmer won't be staying up for too long. It's a best of 5. Huge advantage for the Byzantines at this point. Getting technologies, equal upgrades. Heavy camel all the way. Oh, only first armor upgrade actually, so that's a bit of a... We would be wanting to research plate guarding armor at this point, entering the Imperial Age. I'm not cool enough to be on Norwegian. Woo! Consider that a compliment. Okay, so we have some resident boomers in our signups here. Brody likes close maps. Likes TCs, lots of TCs and boomings. We're at 4 TCs at this point. Same applies to Momo. But Momo Would have played closed maps more, I think. And we have Eds97, who just randomly turned up in chat a moment ago. Throws too many games because of underestimating the opponent. Don't think we've seen that this set. Baldr lacking most of the cast age upgrades. Yeah, good fight with the heavy cannons there. Imperial Age, of course, giving Byzantines huge power spike here. Extra crossbows added as well. With the economy behind this for Vale, could basically add anything and get away with it. Momo confirmed after that little snippet. Let's have a go. Have a look at Momo again. Coast maps, likes booming, bad at eco upgrades. Maybe. Still only horse color for the both of them. Oh, you have Norwegians stopping by Otter Mondays. Yeah, you surely you know Andy through FFA games, Otter. I think he shows up for FFAs occasionally. Military stats convincing for Vale there, 72, 38 KD. But why? Oh, why did Baldr not wall this area ever? Because that's what let the archers in easily. Yeah, here you go. Right. Just casually rolling in. Weird. And he's openly Norwegian. Yeah, he used to be Norwegian camper, that's true. On Twitch. That's 2 up for Vale, by the way. I need to note that. Let's check the maps again, and we'll be going to High Tides next. Let's go back to the draft for a bit. We'll make sure to note that Khmer lost against the Byzantines here. Match point for Vale on High Tide, in which case it's going to be Italians or Malay. Anything else would be weird for that kind of hybrid map. Whereas Baldr has lots of options here. I'm suspecting it could be both Lithuanians and Persians. We'll see. We'll see what comes up. We're going in for the third game for... what did I say? It's not High Tides. That was the ban. Sorry, we're going to Bay. Going to Bay, which all the more reinforces the Italians pick. Bay was actually the home map pick of Baldr's opponent Fenrir in the round of 16. So after winning that one, Baldr might be finding some confidence in this map. Then again, in that round of 16 match, Baldr was playing Italians for Bay. Now that's not an option. And Baldr docked very, very late. Yeah, debated. Sorry about that. Bud flow and high tides tend to be banned quite a lot. So it's Bay, or as some T90 fans called it, pants. Looks like a shorts, whatever. It's got a little bit of fish here to be taken. 8 tiles, fixed tiles of salmon, about Yeah, how much food is that? 1800 food. But then again, if you control the waters, you give yourself an opportunity to sneak a landing, perhaps, if the opponent hasn't walled properly to the edge of the map. Can't build on this terrain. And you could also invest into fish traps on the water as the deep fish runs out. Deep fish always worth taking anyway if there's a couple of tiles of it, because it's food that's brought in so quickly would really boost your progression towards feudal and castle age. Persians can dock earlier because they start with 50 extra food and wood, whereas Italians have a shortcut to the Great Fish Boom because their fishing ships are cheaper. Yeah, Huggy and Red Kansky not agreeing here. They're both hybrid maps though, so you agree on something, that hybrid maps have a reason for being in the map pools. Vale already on point with a scout here, nice and early to try and deny an early person dock here, but Baldr in the round of 16 didn't really dock all that early, even with Italians, in which case you should. Proved himself to be a decent water naval fighter though. So we'll see if there's going to be some naval action for this map as well. Looks like the docks will be going up at roughly the same time here. Uh-oh, unless Vale can... Oh, that's one dead villager! He's gonna go down, he does not doom! Ah, big value for Vale there! So, definitely worth the loss of scout hit points there, significantly delaying the Persian stock. Again, delaying the first fishing ship to pop out, going to give Vale a one fishing ship lead over the Persian at the very least. Even if it means potentially losing the starting scout for Vale here. I would like that Baldr had the presence of mind to take HP from the scout with the dual build. Doesn't the villager without loom in Dark Age auto attack though? I think it does. But kudos to Baldr if not. Baldr actually got only 2 wood lines. This is an admin 3, guys. Come on. Not really. I guess got a beefy wood line in the back. Could be very useful. Don't think it's a big deal. It just makes walling a little bit harder, and I like that. I don't like walls. That's true, he did move a few tiles, so you might be... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not gonna work. This is passable and not wallable. So if this is part of the full wall, then that's going to backfire heavily at Baldr. Few ledges on the way, but Vale with a convincing 30-ish seconds lead here. Also going to drop the second dock. No, it's not quite there yet. It's missing some wood for that. Barracks going up. It's going to play both naval aggression and archers. Also adjusting the numbers of villagers on gold accordingly. I like that. Because it looks like it's going to be a double gold combo. One on water and also some archers on land. Walling for demos in the Dark Age, yeah. Well, you mean this area, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Next level thinking. think it's more of a slip up though. Two dogs for the Italians, Farigal is in the making. Baldr also attempting a second dock if he is able to complete it. Persians might still have a shot here because the Persians' docks are harder to take out. They and the docks and town centers had twice the hit points for Baldr or for Persians, and they also produce 10% faster in the feudal age. What they misclick production in the dock 3 times? Yeah, that's just hotkeys for you when switching between accounts. Maybe that's why the devs are fucking with the hotkeys with the new builds, just to discourage smurfing, switching between accounts and having to set up the hotkeys and dealing with the mess all over again every time. Two fire galleys, 2 more. No, only 1 boring into queue for Baldr. I don't think that's intentional. I think that's just a lack of wood to be able to produce here. Takes out the Persian fire galley. Did take out 1 fish as well. So good aggression here from Vale. Dev's trying to disrupt Hidden Cup 5. Yeah, that's it. That's been sort of confirmed though, hasn't it? Hidden Cup 5. YT90 is confirmed that it's in the planning. Just nothing official whatsoever. Maybe he'll want to move to YouTube streaming first or something. Yeah, he said on a stream on Facebook once that there will be another Hidden Cup. Exact words. He didn't see when, but he said it's in the planning. Or he said something like that. It kind of makes sense as well, right? Because the origin of the Hidden Cup was Viper's dominance, and now Hera is sort of entering that same kind of dominance that Viper had. So that kind of strengthens the original idea of Hidden Cup. Time to get good at game. Should have a hidden qualifier as well, you know. 2 demos for Vale. Will they hit well enough to take out the... Oh, they got the villager! Brilliant! Great hit! Amazing value there. 1 fire galley and 1 villager going down to the demo hit. Vale is on fire. Or actually, Baldr is on fire, mostly here. But yeah, you know. Playing very well. Solid work with the Italians here. 1 spearman and some archers now in the production to get some aggression down. This could even be an overchop for archers to enter, but you could still enter at this area, assuming you're not afraid of demos. Next demo coming. Yeah, switch exclusively to demos here. Vale. Vale also losing some fish now, so Baldr is playing very decently here on water. I'll bring back the Gustavinho card because he is claimed to be a... No, that wasn't the one. Who was the... Straumanes was the water maps enjoyer. Straumanes likes the water maps. So he could also be Vale here. At this point water is gone. Somehow Baldr has been able to win water, but it's cost a lot. Look at the KD, 11-6. And the villagers lost as well, the eco units lost. Vale has taken fewer losses on water. now prepares the second range, and having that Italian's bonus is just around the corner, clicking up to the castle age to invest into crossbows. Baldr, not that far off, but is going to be later to the next stage, and he really needs to stop investing in naval units, or at least naval military units, because at this point he probably has this one in the bag. He even has a demolition ship close to in the frontier, just in case Vale's demolition ships pops out of this one. You could get a 1-for-2 hit if you're really lucky. Spearman found a way in, that was through the overshot on the woodline mentioned earlier, but you'll still be able to pass through here, unless you want to, unless you are afraid of demolition ships, which you should be. Stop making fire galleys, you don't need them. Yup, castle age 120 now for Vale. Not sure what he's laughing about actually. Maybe the demo hit, maybe the overchop. Losing the two demos, yeah. Castle Age now 30 seconds away. Bodkin crossbow, maybe affordable. Market now coming up for Baldr, so he can trade resources to get to the Castle Age or get crucial upgrades if need be. While they'll probably won't risk going here, we'll just try to punch through the palisades instead. And the gold is reachable for crossbows anyway with Bodkin. So that can still be denied, and Vale knows it's there. He also should know it is the... If he sees this gold, he's also gonna know that this is the only gold inside of Baldr's base. Still a hole for Baldr. Where's the hole? I mean, this is open, but... Was it here, maybe? Or here? Okay, now it's getting plugged. Woodland gonna take some hits now. This is gonna catch Baldr a little bit off guard. He hasn't really scouted the... Oh, he's scouted the range. Never mind. My bad. But two villagers quickly go down there. Instant value for crossbows already. Probably gonna get this guy as well. And even if Vale now is effectively behind in economy because of the fish investment of Baldr, their villager counts are... Well, the villager count is higher for Vale, and he certainly has the RB lead yet again, as we've seen the previous two games. Oh, that's a very weak villager. That should be easily snappable. Look at the villagers going down trying to re-wall this. Finally the defensive tower, and that's just outside the range for the crossbows, but another one. Very weak one there. He lives. Yeah, great aggression by Vale, now assuming an eco lead. 53 eco units to the 50 of Baldr. Crossbow group now with 6 economy kills so far. And consistent production out of 2 ranges at home as well. Knights numbers increasing here, +2 defense is in, even getting the attack now, but I think that kind of makes sense for Persians, because the Persians Knights have 2 extra bonus damage against archers, so if you increase your attack, you'll capitalize on that attack bonus. You'll still most definitely need more than 3 Knights to keep this up though. But 14 farms, slowly starting the fish traps as well. Baldr's later castle age isn't working into his favor here now, considering Vale's crossbow snowball is already well ahead of the cavalry numbers of the blue player. Is heavy on soul as well. Because if Vale gets a castle up and gets to mix in some Genoese crossbowmen with his generic or regular crossbows, then the knights will struggle a little more, because the Genoese crossbowmen just slay cavalry. Should be an easy fight for Vale even without ballistics here, but it's not that far away. These knights, they are definitely taking a fight they shouldn't be. Yeah, we need something more here from Baldr. We need a lot more knights, but preferably some siege as well for some good hits in on the crossbow group. Yeah, he's taking his chances here. I think it's worth it to trade lots of villagers here. You could camp underneath the tower as well if you want to, but damage has been done. 14 eco kills now for these crossbows. Also moving around. Knights numbers nowhere near where they need to be. No siege weapons to be seen. And every time villagers pop out of the tower, Vale just gets more kills because he has ballistics. He has the fully upgraded, well, not fully upgraded, but fully attack upgraded Italian crossbows. 3 times the military for Vale. Baldr lagging behind in the economy and hasn't been able to move the home base at all. That second town center won't really be the savior here. Another town center for Vale as well. Once again strengthening the Papaya Pete theory, but no Castle Age eco upgrades here though, so that's not very Papaya Pete-esque. But the archers play is on point. Thumbring coming in as well, will be firing faster. 20% faster. And with 100% accuracy when they're standing still, aren't they? Something like that. It increases accuracy and firing rate. Still working on stone for that castle as well. Forward castle on the gold here would be the play, I think, because that would permanently deny that gold for quite a while. And look at the eco KD, is 30-2. Vale never managed to make more than 2 fishing ships, it seems. So that might have been a good choice as well. Investing into archers earlier rather than going for the fish approach when the water situation was uncertain. Okay, sending some villagers forward now. 8 villagers moving forward together with another wave of crossbows. These crossbows probably won't be able to go outside of the base. But Baldr, however, is going outside of the base and also thinking about that castle. And that's exactly where I wanted to see that castle, to deny that gold. This gold is outside of Baldr's base, so that can be denied with army. And once again, just running around, roaming around with crossbow group, sniping villagers whenever he sees someone roaming about. Hit and run against the knights as well. Still not got the knights numbers needed here, Baldr, to take out the crossbows. And this could be the game-ending fight, because there's just there's no economy to field more military. You lost all of your armies except for the naval military, and here comes the castle in your face to deny the gold access as well, which will make knights production even harder. This is Baldr's home map, but Vale is really dominating this one, I have to say. Possibly got the best civilization in the draft for it as well. Even quick walling in the builders, building the castle just in case. Finding the siege workshop, but we're out of gold, we're out of wood. Soon enough. GGB, well played. GLX. Good luck, X. So Vale is Baldr's X. By the looks of it. Convincing 3-0 for Vale. Will be advancing into the semi-final. Thanks for the follow. 3 and Darisaris. Appreciate that. Now let's move through the statistics here. Textbook Italians playing by Vale, except for not winning water, but then transitioning into the land armies quickly. Actually already started prepping for it while working in the naval situation. That could have been a little bit costly. That could have been what sort of made the early feudal age a bit shaky for Vale, but moving out at just the right time and getting some juicy trades against villagers. We make more 4 town centers in the end for Vale, so convincing economic lead there, especially after taking out 50 eco units total. That's a ridiculous mass of builders. And not losing a single villager himself, which will show in the society stats. Did lose 2 fish, no biggie. GG Vale played. And which means we should move into the bracket. Show another 3-0. It's the day of sweeps by the looks of it. 3-0 for Vale against Baldr.